Okay, so for this last one, I just want to look at some possible decks. None of these are refined, obviously. They've never been played, which is... you always want to play test your decks, so... Kinda... bear with me. Alright, this one in particular, bear with me. I think there's something to Even Shaman. I don't think this is quite it. I'm just gonna say that right now. I don't think this is quite it, but this is... having never played with any of the cards, my first attempt at it, okay? So, the idea is you want to totem on turn 1, obviously, and then you want to totem basically whenever possible. So you want to have lots of totems, and you want to weaponize your totems. So we have Flame Tongue and Direwolf as ways to weaponize them. At the higher end... these are eels. These are going to be Mad Hatters. So that weaponizes totems. I just want to try that card out and see if it's any good. And this is again. So Dark Iron, weaponize them. This card seems really bad, but I just want to try it. I've never actually seen it played. Open-minded, right? Weaponize them. So we're just trying to weaponize the totems. Then we have more stuff that helps us go wide. Kobold Hermit, Primal Fin. We have stuff that benefits from us going wide. So Ravasaur, Cult Master, we can trade stuff in. Fire Elementals, just strong late game to top off our curve. Knife Juggler to benefit from making lots of totems and other tokens. And just Ooze just for another 2-drop, and it's... you know, weapon removal. So, that's the idea there. I don't think this is really... like, Sneaky Devil's probably just too bad. There's other stuff to look at, like the new 2-mana 1/1 Death Rattle. Buff your dudes. But that seems like it's probably on the weak side here, so I don't know. I think there's a shell that works. Oh yeah, and Hex for a Q block. That's that one. That one I don't expect to do very well. But I think there's a deck there. This one I'm a bit more confident in. So if you look at this sick ass curve, 16 1-drops. It honestly doesn't really matter too much what the 1-drops are. You could probably tinker with the exact ones. But these are just guys that do stuff. Hits you, makes more dudes stop your dude. Hits you, makes your dudes hit you harder. Hits you, hard to remove, so it hits you, hits harder. Right, just like stuff that you can play and is aggressive. Then we have Animal Companion. Animal Companion's good. Bows are mostly going to go face. 1 Owl to deal with the first Void Lord. We have no plan for the second Void Lord. We just gotta hope we get there. Kill Command, because it's a kill command. Unleash is to help you deal with Paladins. I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it, but that's the idea. Fledgling is just, you know, powerful 3-drop. These are both Bitter Tides. I don't actually have 2 Bitter Tides, and I'm going to wait until I get Baku before I worry about crafting one, because this is the only deck I've really cared about having 2 Bitter Tides. But 2 Bitter Tides topping out your actual curve. Luna's doing some cat stuff somewhere. And Baku, you never actually play. So Baku's the top end of your deck, but not a card that you play, because you just want to shoot them in the face for 3 every turn. So this is the biggest you really want to play, and most of your stuff is just going face. And then they die. That's the concept here. This one I also think turned out pretty cool. Can definitely be refined more, but again, we haven't played with the cards, so it's hard to do that. What's what? The Dalorans are pixies, Blackwalled pixies. So 7 mana, gain 8 armor. It's pretty good, honestly. Like in a grindier game, and if you're against a faster opponent, you just play a spider tank earlier. This is Darius. I think he's pretty cool. The cat has arrived. These are Grizzlies, which I think are going to be amazing, and that's Baku. Yeah, so single target removal, you've got Shield Slams, we've got double fire war axe just because we don't really have anything else for early game weapons, and then double gore howl. See, the thinking here is we have a lot of weapons because we have a lot of armor, and we want to leverage that armor into removing shit, right? We want to turn it into something useful instead of just stockpiling it. Also, for AoE we have double reckless flurry. We have whirlwind to help with the paladins. Reckless Flurry is like kind of an okay card now. It wasn't as good as I thought it'd be, but if you're gaining 2 armor, like 5 mana, deal 4 to everything, it's just good, right? So even if you have no armor, this card's just suddenly good. And then double brawl, just for Steph. MCT just because paladin's scary. Not kind of on the fence about that. Only 1 acolyte. Probably need to find a room for a second one. Although there's not that many ways to activate it. We have the whirlwinds, but there's no blood razor. Mountain fire armor is probably gonna not make the cut. I don't know. I just put it in there just because I like the card. Being honest here, but without N'Zoth, it's not as attractive. The idea behind this card is you just play it, and then they don't want to trade into it because they don't want to give you a bunch of armor. So you get to trade into their stuff, which is the utility. And if they do trade into it, you get a lot of health. So that's cool. Shield block, just draw, gain armor. Stonehill's just solid. Solid, helps you go longer. Elise and Ysera hopefully give you that value push to close out the game. And that's a Baku. Yeah. So that's it. I'm really, really eager to try this deck out because it actually looks really fun to play. Again, might tweak some stuff in here is mostly where I'm looking at, but I think it's actually pretty close. Should be able to climb with that one. This curve, I think I kind of butchered this one. So this is my first attempt at a Hagatha deck. There's a lot of 3 drops. I don't know about that. So this kind of turned into a taunt deck. It didn't set out that way, but it just sort of... I just kept putting taunts in. So the plan is you just kind of stall forever with taunts, and then Hagatha value... Who's a kitty? Hagatha value closes out the game. These are frogs. These are... What is this? Oh, this is the 2-mana 2/2 shuffle a dude in your deck. I just needed more. None of the 2-drops are really that attractive. So, I don't know. You could probably find a better pick there, but that helps you go long. Maybe like Mana Tide. I was afraid of adding more 3-drops. There's like more 3-drops I wanted to add. These are the Echo Phantom Militia guys. This is... Swift Messenger? Is that the 4-drop? Rush Lady. I wanted... See, there's very few spells in the deck. I have 2 Lightning Storm for Paladin, 2 Hex for Warlock, and then Hagatha is King Togwaggle. Everything else is a minion, so 25 minions. I wanted to limit the number of spells and non-minion, just non-minion stuff in general, to maximize that value. So I want to try off the Messenger as a form of removal there and see if it's actually as adequate as I think it could be. These are Grizzlies, and then yeah, so the cards that exist, Fire Elemental is just good. We have a shitload of taunts, so let's just run through our list of taunts. Chakrai Defenders, this card, I don't know if this is good. 2/8 taunt is just really big that early, and I feel like this just kind of shits all over Paladin. So it makes the overload okay. Hot Springs Guardian is just super good. Echo Guy. Stonehill, this is good because it makes 2 guys. This is good because it makes 3 guys. These guys are more cuttable. I definitely want these, I think, because they're multiple dudes. Then we got Grizzly Guy, Voodoo Hexer. These are both just big, annoying things to get through. Yeah, the early game with Thalnos is just a little bit of draw, and also we're eventually going to have a lot of spells. So, not bad having some spell damage around, right? Doomsayer slows the game down, Plated Beetle just because, It's a guy. Yeah, I don't, first draft. On the fence about this one, but I might want to shift it to like an elemental shell. Because elemental shaman does have some really cool stuff. This is a half-finished steel deck that I'm not gonna worry about that. Last one I want to show. We don't need to go through every possibility, but just odd mage, what that could look like in wild. Something like this. These are cats. That's a Baku. Everything else exists. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is maybe okay. So the idea is you're basically just a burn mage deck with more minions than normal. There's some weirder stuff like I probably don't need Harrison in there. I'm not actually sure why there's a Harrison. That's probably confused and alone. Yeah, so book, Mana Worm, 1-drops. Mana Worm's not that powerful in this deck, not as many spells, but it's a Mana Worm, so it's going in. Arcane Blast, because there's a bunch of spell damage, right? We have cats and these guys. Explosive Runes is just good. Torches are our main source of burn with the portals. Loatheb, because it's Loatheb. Jenkins, to make up for Fireball not being there. Ethereal Conjurer to make up for stuff not being there. Like, we can still discover Fireball. We can still discover Frostbolt. We can still discover Pyroblast. You know, we just can't put it in our deck. But this is totally fine. I think Harrison's probably a bit much, maybe. It's just, I don't know. Maybe more like 1-drops or something. You get like a weird curve. But you have to imagine the hero power filling in these weird gaps, right? And then just draw, goes face. Kind of on the fence about that one. 1 Ice Block, because whatever. Still a broken card. Busted 3-drop if it snowballs. And Curator pulls out stuff. It's just more draw. That one might be a little slow for the deck. So like Harrison and Curator could probably go. But yeah. Again, just first draft, rough ideas for what these decks kind of might look like. But I think there's something to these. I think that's good. I don't think we need to go over every possible deck. But like that's some of the stuff I'm looking to try on day one that I think could be pretty relevant. I also kind of want to put together a Rush Warrior deck, but I don't know. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for me. If you watch the things, thanks, I guess. And when I get shit wrong, feel free to rub it in my face. That's fine. Because I'm definitely gonna bring it up every time I was right about anything.